Money has built civilizations. It has started wars, created dreams, and destroyed lives. Yet money itself has never made a single decision. People do. Over the last few years, the world has changed. Markets changed. Technology changed. Currencies changed. But one thing never changed: human behavior.
In 2014, a janitor died in a small American town. Nothing unusual. No television cameras, no headlines. No one expected the world to notice. But then something strange happened. When lawyers opened his will, they discovered that this quiet janitor had left behind more than $8 million. $8 million. The man spent his life fixing cars, sweeping floors, and living in a modest home. No luxury cars, no mansion, no designer suits, nothing that looked remotely wealthy. Yet somehow he became richer than thousands of highly educated professionals. At almost the same time, another man was losing everything. A Harvard-educated financial executive, a man who had spent decades around money, a man who understood investing better than most people ever will. Bankrupt. One man knew almost nothing about finance, the other spent his life surrounded by it. So how did the janitor win, and how did the expert lose? Because wealth has very little to do with intelligence and almost everything to do with behavior. The game everyone is playing wrong. Most people think money is a numbers game. They believe financial success comes from knowing more information, more strategies, more secrets, more formulas. But look around. If knowledge alone created wealth, every finance professor would be a millionaire. If intelligence alone created wealth, every genius would be rich. The truth is uncomfortable. Money is emotional. Fear makes people sell at the worst possible moment. Greed makes people take risks they don't understand. Ego makes people spend money they don't have, trying to impress people they don't even like. The stock market isn't just a battle of numbers, it's a battle between human emotions, and emotions usually win. The invisible force controlling your life. Think about the way you see money. Where did those beliefs come from? Most people assume their financial opinions are logical. They're not. A person raised during a recession sees money differently than someone raised during an economic boom. Someone who watched their parents struggle with debt develops a completely different relationship with money than someone who grew up surrounded by abundance. Two people can look at the exact same investment opportunity and come to completely opposite conclusions, and both will believe they're being rational. Because we're not seeing reality, we're seeing our experiences. Every financial decision we make is filtered through the stories we've lived. The billion-dollar role of luck. Society loves success stories. We love believing that successful people simply worked harder. And yes, hard work matters, but there's another force that rarely gets credit. Luck. Consider Bill Gates. Brilliant, hard-working, visionary. But there's another detail most people forget. As a teenager, Gates attended one of the only schools in the world that had access to a computer at exactly the right moment in history. That opportunity changed everything. At the same time, Gates had a close friend named Kent Evans. Kent was just as ambitious, just as intelligent, just as obsessed with computers. Many people believed he would achieve extraordinary things. But before his life truly began, Kent died in a tragic accident. One life touched by extraordinary luck, another touched by extraordinary risk. The lesson isn't that success is random. The lesson is that success is never entirely yours, and failure is never entirely your fault. The app that destroys millionaires. Imagine earning $10,000 a month.
Life improves. Then you want $20,000, then $50,000, then $100,000, then $1 million, and somehow you're still unhappy. The target keeps moving. This is one of the most dangerous financial diseases on earth, the inability to recognize the word enough. History is filled with people who had more money than they could ever spend, yet they kept reaching for more, and in the process lost everything. Because the hardest financial skill isn't making money, it's knowing when you already have enough. The secret millionaires understand. Imagine two people walking into a room. One arrives in a luxury sports car, the other drives an old Toyota. Who looks richer? Most people choose the sports car owner, but appearances are often lies. Real wealth is invisible. You can see spending, you cannot see saving. You can see expensive clothes, you cannot see investments. You can see status, you cannot see financial security. The wealthiest people are often the least interested in proving they're wealthy, because they understand something most people never do. Money spent on appearances can no longer work for your future. The force more powerful than talent. Imagine planting a tree. For years, almost nothing happens. Then suddenly, one day, it's taller than the house beside it. That's how wealth grows. Slowly, painfully slowly, then all at once. Most people underestimate the power of compounding because the early results look insignificant. One investment seems small. One extra dollar saved seems meaningless. One good decision seems unimportant. But compounding doesn't care about intensity. It rewards consistency. Tiny actions repeated for decades create extraordinary results. The problem is that most people quit before the magic begins. What money really buys? Ask people why they want more money. Most answers sound different. A bigger house, a luxury car, a dream vacation, financial security. But beneath every answer is the same desire. Freedom. The freedom to wake up and decide how to spend your day. The freedom to leave a job you hate. The freedom to walk away from toxic situations. The freedom to spend time with people you love. The highest dividend money pays isn't luxury, it's control over your life. And that may be the most valuable asset in existence. Why most people fail. People spend years preparing for success. Almost nobody prepares for failure. Yet every airplane has backup systems. Every bridge is built stronger than necessary. Nature survives because it leaves room for mistakes. But many people build financial lives that only work if everything goes perfectly. One emergency, one illness, one bad decision, one market crash, and everything collapses. The smartest investors aren't the ones who predict the future. They're the ones who survive uncertainty. The final lesson. Let's go back to the janitor, the man who quietly built an $8 million fortune. He didn't have secret information. He didn't have elite education. He didn't have extraordinary advantages. What he had was patience, discipline, humility, and time. While the world chased shortcuts, he let compounding do his work. While others tried to look rich, he focused on becoming wealthy. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. The richest person in the room is not the one with the biggest house, or the most expensive car, or the highest income. The richest person in the room is the one who owns their time, the one who needs less, the one who understands that money isn't a scoreboard, it's a tool, and when used wisely, it buys the one thing that truly matters: freedom. Outro. If this book taught us anything, it's this. Wealth is not built by people who know the most, it's built by people who behave the best. And sometimes the difference between financial success and financial failure isn't what you know, It's how long you're willing to stay patient while everyone else is losing their mind.